What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another Hot Toys 1/6 scale figure unboxing and review. Today we are obviously looking at the Spider-Punk Special Edition from Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. First of all, I'm not much of a guy for boxes, but this box art is honestly just something else. This shit looks awesome. I got this figure from toysassemble.com, link on the screen or in the description. Great customer service, great prices, just great around everything. So let's get right into it. I don't really care that much about boxes, so we are going to slide this off, and you can see the figure preview right there. Coming around here, pretty sick box art on the back, if I'm gonna have to say so myself. And this is genuine photo art of the figure. But, I mean, come on, who really cares about that as much as we care about the figures? Let's get it out right now. All right, everybody, here we have the figure itself. Let's lift off this plastic clamshell right here and take our first in-hand impressions of the figure itself. And, oh my god, is this guy lanky? But first, look at that head sculpt right there, and here's a quick preview of everything else. But without further ado, I want to get every single thing that is in this box laid out. So let's get that done really quick. And wow, this is everything we get inside of the box, and it is definitely a ton of stuff to take a look at once. So take a quick peek as we're going to go through everything individually in just a second. First, we're just going to take a very quick glance at the body just to give you a nice quick look before we take an in-depth look at everything else. And I did not include the head sculpts on it right now because both of them seem to be pretty fragile in their own ways. This has a ton of little bits and bobs on it. I don't want to bend anything or even bend anything on the suit. And obviously this one just has a bunch of thin little spikes. But without further ado, guys, let's take a look at every single thing individually. Absolutely awesome first head sculpt right here for Hobie Brown. You can see all of his piercings, obviously, again, the rolling eyeballs. This hair sculpt is absolutely huge, but I am definitely here for it. Piercings are also very fragile, so make sure to be careful of that. And I think this thing looks honestly great. And then on to his spider mask. A ton of fragile little spikes on it. These things are a very soft, bendy, plasticky rubber, though, so you shouldn't really have to worry. And of course, we could see that iconic Spider-Punk kind of design on it. For hands, we do get two thwippers, one left web holding hand. I don't really know why they just don't do pairs for everything. Right here is his guitar playing hand, and this one obviously meant to hold his pick, which yes, right here is his pick. It wasn't just a random piece of plastic. He does come with a nice little guitar pick. And by nice, I seriously just mean a tiny little black, just an unprinted piece of plastic with a normal casual hand and a less casual one right there. Some of you are definitely eyeing this up right now. So here we have his guitar. The actual detail on this thing is super great. All of these are real strings, as you could see, and they all do move and work. Coming around the back, we can see more of that kind of comic-y animated style right here. This strap you can tighten and loosen, as you can see right here, so you can make it kind of just adjust on his body, and I actually don't feel like breaking that right now, so I'll leave it right here. But a ton of really nice detail work on this thing. No, these knobs do not twist or move. They are just stuck like that. As for accessories for the guitar, you obviously saw the pick, but this piece right here goes right on the back of the guitar to make it look like he's playing it in that animated style. And these three pieces back here just add to that effect, with all three of them looking just like this, and everything kind of just ports in just like that. So let's see what it looks like fully assembled. And for me personally, I am a very big fan of how this actually makes it look. I think if you have him strumming his guitar on your display, this will definitely make it look a lot cooler. We have Hobie's little box right here. It is just a piece of paper kind of just taped and glued together. So it's nothing special. It is printed really nicely. You can keep his little device that he also comes with in there. And this thing is really nicely detailed. Along with a really normal kind of boring display base, I really do wish they started adding a lot more diorama style ones though. And of course, just normal standard webs. These right here are all three of the different set pieces that he comes with. It is super easy to set these things up. It seriously just comes out like this. It comes flat. You put this little bit up right here and you just flick this up and it stays, and it is very, very sturdy. We have a nice clock tower right here and a nice building with a few billboards on it, and then just some more buildings. And I think these behind your Spider-Punk figure look absolutely great. And the actual printing on them is super high quality, but they did manage to get that kind of comic book spotted dot on it. It is made of a very thick cardstock. But now I think it's time to take a closer look at the figure itself and do some comparisons, articulation tests, and just everything else. We have the figure up close and personal. This is obviously with that normal head sculpt on there, and first of all, this thing looks absolutely awesome. You can see his giant hairpiece right here, and all of these are a pretty thick rubber, so you won't have to worry about them breaking. You can see some of his piercings right here, and yes, these are loose, so please be careful because these can definitely very easily come off. If we take off this head sculpt right here, you can see he does have some rolling eyeballs, and they are very easy to mess around with. For the suit itself, I do not have a lot of complaints at all, besides one major thing, and that is these little prints on his legs right here. They did not really look like that in the movie. I really do not like how they look on the figure itself. I think they kind of just look slapped on there rather than actually a part of the pants. But what else can I do but complain? The clothes are very stretchy and they feel really high quality, so it doesn't feel like any of them are going to rip. His overall suit design is pretty sick. I am definitely a big fan of the back of this jacket though. And again, you can see some more printed on designs on his arms, and his hands follow the same design. Obviously, with it being Spider-Punk, you have a ton of studs and spikes, and these things are rubbery and pretty flexible, so you don't have to worry about them breaking, but you might have to bend them back just a couple times if you do end up hitting them. His belt right here and his suspenders are two separate pieces. These all can move, and if you really wanted to, you could put the suspenders on him, but I think that is just a little bit risky. You might end up breaking them because they feel very, very fragile. Coming down to his boots, they look honestly great, but these things are not going to give you a ton of range of motion because they are one solid bit, but you can pose them just a tiny bit. Now with the actual pants, besides those prints, I do like the actually kind of grid pattern underneath, which the Hot Toys, it's not really their creative design anyway. See that slight spider pattern before fading out into just basically nothing. Obviously, we have his mask look right here, and this thing looks absolutely great. These things are very bendy, so you do want to worry about them just a tiny bit, but you will be able just to bend them back in place. And you can see that kind of dripping makeup kind of look on his mask. Really big fan of that actual look itself. The eyes and just the overall head shape of it, I am a very big fan of. All right, now it's time for some articulation, and we're going to get him right. Okay, so first we're going to start off with his head sculpt. We're going to take it off in just a little bit because these little fins are a little bit fragile, but going forwards, he does have a double or triple neck. I don't really know what it is, but you can see it moves on a bunch of different joints right there. Going backwards, you could put him as far up as you want if you want to do some kind of falling pose. Side-to-side swivel, again, is really, really great. And you can go 360 with it, but I don't want to risk damaging these fins. And all right, here we go. Risk-free with no head on there. And all right, so first of all, his arms go up just about this much. Now for elbow bend, as far as it possibly could go without the body or the suit interfering. And this is a very thin, stretchy material, so this suit, trust me, is not getting in the way. That's definitely the body itself. Going up, we can get just about straight up and down. You might be able to push yours just a little bit further. I do not want to risk ripping him. Going backwards would obviously be the same thing. Now he does have a ton of joints in his abs too, so he can go crazy far forwards. And again, guys, on a pretty clicky ratchet, actually, he can go very, very far backwards. And look, ooh, he's grabbing his little suspender. Now for his hips, they can go just under 90 degrees with his legs going all the way forward they possibly could, and his knees going as far as they could too. Sadly though, for his ankles, they do not have a ton of range of motion considering this is one solid piece for his boot and not split cut. And here we have it, guys. Hobie right next to Tom Holland's upgraded suit Spider-Man. And goddamn is Hobie Brown fucking tall. His hair definitely adds just a little bit of height to it, and I don't even know why I'm saying a little bit. This hair adds a ton of height to him. And considering these two obviously weren't seen next to each other, I still think they pair pretty nicely. And then here we have a figure you guys haven't really seen on this channel just yet, Daredevil from Netflix. And this really just kind of just looks stupid. It makes no sense, and they do not pair well at all. And then Venom, this guy is just so massive. It is incredibly difficult to fit him into seriously any frame for this video. But you can trust me on this one. If you pair these two on your shelves, he's going to look awesome. And of course, how can we have a comparison without Deadpool? And I actually like this one. They both have a ton of vibrant, punchy red on their suit, and I think it actually makes them pair pretty nicely. But guys, now it's time to pretty much wrap up this video. We'll add a couple of poses in the background while I'm kind of just yapping at the end here. If you guys liked Spider-Verse, this figure is a must grab for you, especially if you're making a Spider-Verse shelf. He will stick out so much in your display, and you can put him into almost any single pose you could ever want. That's just about it, guys, for this video. If you want to see more figure reviews just like this, and in the future, other different content from me, then make sure to hit that like, comment, and subscribe button. And as usual, you guys can pick this figure up right now from toysassembled.com.